What's up, YouTube fragrance family and friends? Tommy with Studio Sense here with another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at two fragrances. One is a brand new release from the house of Dolce & Gabbana, the One Gold for Men, a eau de parfum edition of the One, hopefully DNA. And our next fragrance is a re-release from Carolina Herrera called Superstars. Bad Boy, known mostly for the bolt of lightning, which represents it. Kind of reminds me of Shazam, Billy Batson. When I was a kid, used to love watching Shazam. So when we return, we're going to take a closer look at this brand new release and re-release, that and more, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. I'm really happy that you decided to stop by and check out today's video because I'm excited to share with you this new release from Dolce & Gabbana and this re-release, Bad Boy Superstars Edition. This is a collector's edition. When I initially discussed this fragrance to begin with, I didn't give it a fair shake. I kind of had just a little bit of a sample there that I gave my first impressions on. So now that I've owned the fragrance, I went ahead and went all in for a 100ml bottle and I've worn it. It's a really solid performing fragrance. So before we talk about it any more about the fragrance itself, let's check out this presentation. One fragrance is a little hard to show in camera just because it's an awkward shape. This is the actual first edition. This one has the gold L-shaped bent stand that it sits on with the smoked dark glass and then the black plastic for the pump or the atomizer. It's really nice looking though up close, looks great sitting on the shelf, and it's actually not bad in terms of, practicality. Looks like the top is the same on Superstars. But you have a really super shiny background. It's like a metallic kind of coating or surface that actually covers the glass. And then the L-shaped, like a bent L stand, is silver instead of gold. And it actually looks really nice. Black pepper, it's got a little bit of Italian green bergamot in the open, and that's what provides that citrus or citric contrast. And really it's a juxtaposition. It's really a smooth fragrance, but it gives it a really nice counterweight. It's like the difference between white pepper and black pepper. One's a little bit darker and harsher, the other one's a little bit smooth and less, resinous. And then in the heart, you've got cedarwood and sage, and the very base, you've got tonka bean and cacao absolute. In my mind, there are two stages or phases of Bad Boy and now Bad Boy Superstars. There's the open, which is really bright and citrusy, and it's got that powerful punch of the peppers behind it that really propels this and pushes it forward. It is a very extremely noticeable open, very pleasing. And that's why I think this is going to be a really nice fall weather fragrance, fall and winter actually. Weather fragrance, because you've got that cacao absolute, that combination of cacao along with this like chocolate, a little bit of a cocoa, kind of a powdery cocoa feel there on top of tonka bean, which is some really dark sweetness. But I really like that combination in the base, and that dry down is just really rich. That's kind of why I went in for the Superstars. So I wanted to share it with you guys and also let you know it's definitely worth picking up, especially if you hedged bets on the first release of Bad Boy. Now you can pick up the shinier version of it. One on one side, one on the other, and see how they pan out. It's so sharp and so peppery and powdery, it's almost like pencil shavings and lead with some woods in the background. It's really nice. And once it starts drying down, some of that sweetness really just kind of opens up and becomes, while it becomes less sweet, it becomes a little bit more complex. That really darkly dry combination of tonka bean and cacao absolute is fantastic combination in the base. I really like it. That's why I think it's going to be a great fall or winter weather fragrance. Now let's check out the Superstars. It feels like Superstars has less punch than the original. Maybe I just sprayed more of the OG on. That's unusual. I didn't think I would be able to tell a difference, but there is a minuscule amount of difference. However, the original is a bit more pungent. It's a bit stronger than is Superstars. The average guy or gal isn't going to be able to tell the difference. But what about that shine? That is really nice. As such though, as with anything that is shiny metallic, you can see fingerprints like crazy. So if that kind of thing bothers you, if that kind of triggers your OCD, you might want to stay away from the silver version of it. However, I think it's worth owning. Definitely think it's worth owning. Next up comes our new release, the One backwards. It is the One Gold for men. Again, originally in 2008, the One was released and it got pretty good attention for being a really wonderfully smelling fragrance, but the challenge for the Eau de Toilette version, the OG, was longevity. A lot of people complained about the performance, and then was released the Eau de Parfum version. If that's what you're after, is that wonderful combination of basil, tobacco, vanilla, coriander, patchouli. This is the penultimate way to go. Now they have since released some very admirable flankers. The One Intense is one of them. Fantastic fall and winter weather fragrance. But today we're going to be taking a closer look at this 2021 release, the One Gold. This is a 100 ml bottle and Eau de Parfum concentration. Let's check out that presentation. So the box for the One Gold, as you can well imagine, is completely gold. It is that shiny metallic like foil is. The top of the lid has DG, and on the very top of the flap, when you go to open it, says Dolce and Gabbana. On the very bottom of the box, you've got your UPC, your tags, and your batch code. And on the very back, ingredients and distribution information. It's really all. The bottle itself is what really stands out. Probably could blind you guys if I did it right. It is a very shiny metallic gold. It literally looks like a gold bar that belongs in the Federal Reserve, sitting on a pallet with other gold bricks or bars. The entire One line, they're all in the same bottle. So the box, while it's nothing to write home about, is nice looking, that metallic gold. The bottle is where it shines, literally and figuratively. Against that gold background, you have a black Dolce & Gabbana, the One, in the font that's on all the fragrances. So the presentation is spot on, looks great, but what about the notes? Let's talk a little bit about the note breakdown. Dolce & Gabbana The One Gold features top notes of Italian bergamot, blood orange, and red ginger, with heart notes of clary sage, Egyptian geranium, and cardamom, resting on a base of patchouli, Haitian vetiver, and amberwood. So the OG has basil, grapefruit, and coriander in the open. This one has red ginger, blood orange, and Italian bergamot. So a little bit of difference there. This one has a heart of Egyptian geranium, clary sage, and cardamom. Now the original also had cardamom in the heart, but it's sandwiched between ginger and I think orange blossom. This one has a base of patchouli, that Haitian sourced vetiver, and amberwood. And the original had amber, tobacco, and something else, probably patchouli. So there's quite a bit of a difference in the DNA, and I don't know that this is going to go darker, but that was my hope. It was going to be a little bit like the intense version and go to the dark side. But we're going to test out that juice to find out. Now, the one thing that concerns me that I originally fell in love with the original EDT and then on to the Eau de Parfum version was its sumptuous use of tobacco. I really love the tobacco note in the 1DNA. To me, they're kind of synonymous. So when you pull that out of it, that concerns me. There isn't really anything notable about the atomizer or pump. They didn't customize anything, but it is a nice gold on gold look. So let's test out this juice. It's an interesting atomizer. It doesn't tend to spray a lot in one pump. It's like a little bit of a cloud or burst. I'm gonna get my negativity out of the way just because I'm thinking it and I gotta say it to get it out. It's almost like a song that's going around in your head. You have to play the song to be able to move on to something else. So let's get that out of the way and then we can move on. This isn't as dark as I wanted it to be, and the omission of tobacco is a sin of omission. That's really what I think about the formula. It's got some kind of congruency with the 1DNA. You know, it's got some connection there. It's not as sexy that I would think it would be, you know, and I think that's because of the omission of the tobacco note. The base of amberwood, patchouli, and that Haitian vetiver gives it a really grounded, loamy, earthy resonance, and I really dig that in this. Like, gold is appropriate because it's going for that kind of field full of yellow corn, sunflowers, you know, that are golden. Puts you in mind of things like that. Now, I really like the combination of amberwood and that blood orange. The citrus contrast there is actually, you can pick it out pretty quickly. That combination of geranium, vetiver, and clary sage with the amberwood richness, that darkness pushing it forward in the background is really nice. The dry down is a super luxurious, slightly spicy, but very soapy scent, and I think that's where it's going to really shine for most people and find its place, you know, in your rotation and on your shelf. This isn't a very heavy fragrance. It's on the lighter side of gold, but it's refined. This is not a casual wear fragrance. This is definitely something that's going to be best suited for cooler weather. Temperate climates will be fine too, but this is going to find its best use in cooler climes, but dressed up. Definitely dressed up. Pretty much what you're getting is that really nice amberwood with that clary sage to give it some spice, cardamom to give it some sweetness, and red ginger to give it some volume. I'm not a super huge fan of this because I think the challenge for this fragrance for myself and maybe for you guys out there is that it is not something that's going to be hyper versatile. I don't see all situations being appropriate for this fragrance. For another, it doesn't really necessarily have the traits of a signature scent. Here they are in all their shiny glory. It's a really good look on the shelf, not necessarily practical when it comes to handling, especially if you're OCD about fingerprints and things like that, but definitely really nice presentation. I really like Bad Boy. I think it's a good alternative to your basic freshie out there. It's got some really nice attributes, characteristics about it that will also make it a good cooler weather fragrance as well, and that opens up the versatility of it. The One Gold is going to be a nice cooler weather fragrance too. It's not super versatile. It feels like it was specifically designed for a specific set of circumstances and set of situations, but not a ton of them. Well guys, thanks so much for tuning in to today's video of these two fragrances. If you've got any experience with them, let me know what your experience is like. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Again, thanks for stopping by and checking out today's reviews, and as always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. We're nearing 10K, we're almost there, just a little bit of a push and we'll get over that hump and definitely have an awesome 10K celebration. Do some giveaways too. I'm going to do some giveaways before we hit 10K. Definitely when we hit. Guys, have an awesome rest of your day out there. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.